I've definitely talked a bit about this before, but I think a lot of people over-fixate on the very first Linux distro they choose, and I get it. You're coming from Windows, or possibly coming from macOS, maybe Chrome OS, find that unlikely, but you want to pick the thing that you're gonna like. You want to spend this time finding the perfect option that is gonna do every single thing you want. You realize very quickly that unless you're willing to pick a distro where you're willing to do all of these things yourself, you are never going to actually find that perfect option. This is something where you can easily swap down the line. If you don't like Ubuntu, you can go to Fedora. If you don't like Fedora KDE, you can go to Fedora Cosmic or Fedora Workstation if you really want to do that. If you don't like that, you can go to OpenSUSE. You can go to Gentoo or Devuan or any of these different distros out there and find the one that fits what you're trying to do. Now, the absolute best way to go and swap between a bunch of different distros is have a secondary machine. Yes, you can do it on your main machine, but you do need to be careful that you don't accidentally pick the wrong drive and wipe your data, especially so when you don't have a good backup of your data, which is what a lot of us do not have. Might be speaking from experience there. That's a problem I need to deal with on my personal machine. The next best option is using a virtual machine. You can just spin something up, delete it, spin something up, delete it, spin something up, delete it, and just keep doing all of that until you get to something that you actually kind of vibe with. Now, setting up a virtual machine, not difficult, takes you a little bit of time the first time you do it, and then after that, it's just the same thing again, just with a different distro. However, there is an even easier thing you can do. Have someone else set up the virtual machine for you. And on that note, every so often someone bugs me to talk about a project known as Distrosea, Test Drive Linux Distros Online. This has been around for about 3 years now, and its whole purpose is basically to make testing Linux distros as easy as it can possibly be. If you want to test something like an Arch Linux, or a Bazite, or something like a Deepin, or a CentOS Stream, or CashOS, or where's Fedora Linux? All of the various different iterations of Fedora Linux across a bunch of different versions, or something like a OpenSUSE, or PC Linux OS, or even things which you probably aren't gonna actually use, like Slytaz or TinyCore is somewhere on this list as well, which is a project which basically exists for reviving really old hardware. Along with this, there are even some things which are very explicitly not Linux distros, like ReactOS. We also have a FreeBSD in here, if I can spell. FreeBSD, there's Dragonfly BSD, NetBSD is here somewhere. Basically, anything you could reasonably want to test is probably going to be on this list. And if it is not on the list, well, reach out to the developers and they'll probably go and add it. Anything sensible, anything you might want to run, anything that has any reasonable amount of users is probably gonna be here. It's not every single distro. It would be like 3,000 entries long. But anything you could reasonably care about is probably gonna be here. One thing I will say is this is not the Slackware logo. This is the Slackware logo you see on Wikipedia. This is the scuffed version. I don't know why that's the logo. I don't know how that's the logo, but that is not the logo of Slackware. Anyway, let's say I want to try something out like Fedora Linux. And let's say I want to go with Fedora 44 with the, I don't know, budgie version. So if we click on that, it then takes us over to a little Cloudflare waiting page and gives an explanation of the distro and also shows that we're in a queue. So this is a free service. With it being a free service, you're going to have very limited resources. There's going to be some time to get into things. You're going to have to wait. If you want to have the, immediate satisfaction of doing things right now with a virtual machine, set them up yourself. If you're really lazy and you don't want to do it, you want nothing to do with that, then give Distrosea a try. I'll cut ahead to when this is done. It should take about a minute to get there. Here we are. When the queue is done, it'll give you a prompt saying you can continue, and then we wait. Over on the left-hand side here, we have a series of controls. We have a audio setting, we have clipping to window, we can make it full screen, all basic little things. The one at the bottom here, this is for a disconnection. Do not click that one unless you actually want to disconnect. And I just realized I think I left it on low quality. You can change the quality settings as well. My bad on that one. Now, once again, this is a free service. If you're coming to this expecting high speeds and all this good stuff, you are in the wrong place. Everything is going to be laggy. However, if you're curious what a distro looks like, the kind of software that comes pre-installed, just getting a sort of vibe for what the distro is, as opposed to, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to try to play a video game and I'm going to try to do some serious work in it. If you just want to jump around, it's like, hey, what does Fedora Cosmic look like? What does OpenSUSE KDE look like? Do I like the ricing that is being done by CashOS? Do I like Ubuntu? Do I like any of this stuff? Just as a way to like get a sort of look and feel, get a vibe for what it is currently like in the latest version, this is a great tool because, frankly, screenshots aren't going to do a great job because a lot of the time the screenshots, you don't really know if they're actually of the latest version, and a screenshot doesn't tell the entire story. What's pre-installed? What is the package manager? All of these little things. This is what you can see if you're actually using the distro. One more thing you will be missing is a network connection. As you can see down here, we do not have one. Why do we not have a network connection? Well, this is a public VM service. Anybody can use this. What do you think happens if you have a public VM service that has a network connection? What do you think the nefarious individuals are going to do with that? And what do you think is going to happen to the project that is then offering that as a service? I can assure you that goes really, really badly for them. Also, there have been various other security issues found here, so, yeah. Anything that needs a network connection, at least by default, you won't be able to mess with. But for anything else, you'll be fine. Now, a project like this does not run off of hopes and dreams. This is something which does require some level of funding, and if you do want to fund it, it's like $5 a month, you do get some additional bonuses from it. Firstly, you get to skip the queue. If you want to jump around and try things out, it's going to take you a bit of time between each of those virtual machines. Now, maybe that's time you want to go and like get your thoughts together about that different distro. Hey, that's fine. But if you want to jump distro, with no wait, you will have to pay for that. Also, skipping the capture. One other thing you can't do normally is running 2 active sessions at once. If you have one virtual machine open and you open another, it is going to close the first one. Again, this is just a resource issue. Advertisements are completely disabled, so you might notice around the site there are this right here. It's not really that big of a deal, it's just a little banner. That banner is no longer going to be there if you do go and pay for it. Extra CPU and RAM in the virtual machines. Whilst it is still not going to be, obviously, as fast as running something locally on your machine, it's not like everything is going to be as extremely stuttery as you saw from before. You could legitimately do something in the virtual machine with a little bit extra performance. Also, internet access if you do pay for it. Again, it's $5. And this pretty much dissuades anyone who was going to go and, use this service as a way to do something nefarious. Because if you want to do something nefarious, spinning up a virtual machine is a lot cheaper than $5. And by default, there is a time limit on the session. So you might notice this one here, it has now been cancelled. This will then extend the session length as well. Whilst this is not something that I'm personally going to use, I have my secondary machine, I have some laptops lying around, I know how to set up a virtual machine, also, I'm just happy on the distro I'm using. if someone came to me and said, hey, I want to try out various different desktops, various different distros, honestly, this is a great resource to do so. If you just have a little bit of time, you don't want to set up virtual machines yourself, and you're not really caring that much about the performance, you kind of just want to get a vibe for how it looks and what's actually installed, honestly, this is a really great resource if you're willing to wait a couple of minutes. I will say, following this video going up, it's probably not going to be a 2-minute wait. So, at least for the first day after this, hey, let me know what the queue ends up looking like. Maybe no one decides to go to the link, and that's fine. If they do, well, my apologies, and hopefully that gets dealt with relatively quickly. So let me know, did you know about Distrosea already? Have you tried it out in the past? Are you going to try it out now? What do you think of the service? And also, are you supporting it? Let me know down below. So if you liked the video, go and like the video, go subscribe as well. If you're on mobile, go and hype the video. And if you really liked the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, check out the Patreon, subscribe, Silly Pay, linked in the description down below. That's going to be it for me, and welcome to the ocean.